Have you ever looked at a handful of vegetable scraps on your counter and wondered if you're literally throwing away money for your garden? Like a lot of you, I used to toss every single potato peel and onion skin straight into the trash without giving it a second thought. But then I started asking myself, what if we could turn everyday kitchen waste into something our garden actually craves without spending a dime on expensive store bought amendments? Instead of just guessing, I decided to test three different DIY liquid fertilizer methods right here in my own backyard, using things we usually throw away. I wanted to see how simple household ingredients like potato peels, molasses, charcoal, and onion skins could actually change the health of my soil and plants. There was one result in particular, especially involving a 7-day microbial brew, that I honestly didn't expect, and I'll show you exactly how that turned out when we get to it. By the time we're through, you'll see three practical, budget-friendly ways to recycle kitchen scraps to support stronger roots, healthier leaves, and more vibrant blooms all season long. Let's get right into our first experiment. Method number 1, potato peels with molasses. To kick things off, we're looking at a way to turn simple potato peels and one common kitchen sweetener into a nutrient-rich liquid fertilizer in just 48 hours without needing any special equipment. For this recipe, we collected the peels from about 1 kilogram of potatoes. We placed all those fresh peels into a clean container that already had about 5 liters of water in it. Then we covered the container with a lid and left it completely undisturbed for 48 hours. During those 2 days, the water slowly drew out natural nutrients and organic compounds from the potato peels. Beneficial microorganisms naturally living on the peels also started breaking down the soft plant material. This mild fermentation released small amounts of minerals, sugars, and other compounds, turning clear water into a light, slightly cloudy nutrient solution with a mild, earthy smell. After 48 hours, we strained the liquid through a fine sieve to remove all the solid pieces. Now, you could actually use this liquid without diluting it because it's quite mild. But for this batch, we wanted to take it a step further. We poured the strained liquid into another container and added 10 liters of clean water, followed by just 1 tablespoon of molasses. Even though that amount of molasses is small, it makes a huge difference. Molasses contains natural sugars that feed beneficial soil microorganisms, helping them wake up and multiply. These active microbes break down organic matter so plant roots can absorb nutrients much easier. Molasses also brings small amounts of potassium, calcium, iron, and magnesium to the mix. Once we stirred the mixture thoroughly until the molasses completely dissolved, the fertilizer was ready to use immediately. We applied it right around the base of the plants to soak into the root zone, keeping it off the leaves. This gentle mix works wonders for vegetables, herbs, flowering plants, and potted plants during the active growing season, and you can safely apply it once every 1 to 2 weeks. Just keep in mind, it's a natural supplement rather than a complete fertilizer, so you'll still want to rely on compost or well-rotted manure as your main nutrition source. If you think potato peels alone can do some neat things for your soil biology, wait until you see what happens when you introduce a porous home for those microbes to live in. That brings us to our second experiment, where we take a completely different approach using charcoal and compost. Method number 2, potato and charcoal. For our second experiment, we're making a living microbial fertilizer using smashed potatoes, natural charcoal, and compost. Potatoes provide the carbohydrates to feed microbes, while charcoal creates a porous home for them to multiply, all brought together in a water-based fermentation setup. To start, take about 1 kilogram of potatoes. They don't even have to be fresh. Small, damaged, or sprouting potatoes work perfectly as long as they aren't heavily rotten. Place them on a hard surface and smash them with a clean stone until they break into many small pieces to expose the starchy flesh. Next, prepare your charcoal. Use plain natural charcoal with no lighter fluid or chemical additives and crush it into a fine powder or tiny pieces the size of coarse sand. This fine texture gives beneficial microorganisms a massive surface area to colonize, acting like a sponge for moisture and nutrients. Fill a clean bucket with approximately 15 liters of non-chlorinated water. If using tap water, let it sit uncovered for 24 hours to clear out chlorine, though rainwater is fantastic if you have it. Add your smashed potato pieces, the crushed charcoal, and one generous handful of finished compost, which introduces countless beneficial bacteria and fungi. Mix everything well, then cover the bucket loosely with a lid or cloth to allow air exchange. Place it in a shaded spot out of direct sunlight and let it sit for at least 7 days, stirring it once daily to introduce oxygen. After a week, you'll notice an earthy smell and small bubbles, which mean the microbes are doing their job. Before applying, dilute this fermented liquid with clean water at a ratio of 1 part fertilizer to 5 or 10 parts water. Pour it around the root zone of your tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, or fruit trees every 2 to 4 weeks during the growing season to maintain active soil biology. While brewing microbial teas with charcoal and compost gives your soil a massive biological kick. You might be wondering if you can combine different kitchen scraps straight from your vegetable prep station to double down on your nutrients. Let's look at how onion and potato peels stack up when we process them side by side. Method number 3, onion plus potato peels. For our third method, we're taking both onion peels and potato peels out of the trash and turning them into a dual action liquid fertilizer. To make it, collect the dry outer onion peels from about 2 pounds of onions and place them into a clean container filled with 5 liters of water, stirring once so they soak fully. Then collect the peels from about 2 pounds of potatoes and place them into a separate container with another 5 liters of water. Close the lids on both containers and leave them in partial shade for at least 48 hours. Over those 2 days, the water draws out key minerals. The onion peels release potassium, calcium, and sulfur, while the potato peels contribute potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, and trace minerals. Natural microorganisms kick in, creating a mild fermentation that darkens the water and gives it an earthy aroma. Potassium helps plants move water, strengthen stems, and support flowers and fruit, while calcium builds cell walls and magnesium drives chlorophyll production. After 48 hours, you can use each liquid separately. The onion peel tea works great on leafy greens and ornamentals, while the potato peel mix suits fruiting plants and shrubs. However, you can also combine them. Take a larger container, add about 5 more liters of clean water, and pour in the liquid from both the onion and potato peel containers, stirring thoroughly. Apply this mixed liquid directly to the soil around the base of your plants every 1 to 2 weeks during the growing season. And don't throw away those leftover strained peels. Toss them into your compost pile or bury them in your garden beds so they can keep improving your soil over time. We've covered three distinct ways to turn everyday kitchen waste into powerful garden assets: a quick 48-hour potato and molasses boost for active growth, a 7-day charcoal and compost microbial brew for deep soil health, and a nutrient rich dual peel tea using both onions and potatoes. That 7-day charcoal ferment in our second experiment really stood out to me, proving just how active soil biology can get when you give microbes the right food and housing. None of these DIY methods replace a complete feeding program, but they are incredible, budget friendly ways to recycle kitchen scraps and give your garden a natural edge. If you enjoyed seeing how these experiments turned out, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below, letting me know which kitchen scrap fertilizer you're going to try first, and happy gardening.